What if I told you that behind the happiest smiles you've ever seen, there was a darkness so silent, so calculated, and so ordinary, you'd never notice, until it was too late? Have you ever met a family that seemed too perfect? Smiles that never cracked. Kids that always said, please, and thank you. Photos so staged they looked like magazine ads. Everything lined up just a little too well. That's where this story begins. In a quiet suburban street. The kind of place where bad things don't happen. Where neighbors wave and mailboxes are painted. Where dogs bark at squirrels, not sirens. And right there sat the Anderson home. White picket fence, freshly mowed lawn. A porch swing that creaked softly in the breeze. It was the American dream, handcrafted in brick and wood. Jason Anderson was the father. A Marine veteran turned youth counselor. Disciplined, structured, admired. He organized barbecues, gave speeches at school events, and led Bible study at church. His wife Rachel? A homemaker. She baked bread from scratch, ran a Christian mom blog, and hosted charity events for local foster families. She was always smiling in photos. Always poised, always polished. 3 children. Lily, 14, quiet, musical. Michael, 10, a little wild, but smart. And Ava, 6 years old. Delicate, quiet. Like a flower afraid of the wind. They were the family others envied. But envy blinds us. Because while the world praised their harmony, inside those walls, something unspeakable was festering. It started with whispers. Lily stopped showing up to school. Rachel skipped her monthly book club. Neighbors noticed Ava had bruises, but they were small. Too small to start trouble. And then, there was Michael. Seen once outside at dusk, looking thinner than before. Shivering in July. But perfection is a powerful illusion. And so, nobody asked. Nobody called. Nobody opened the basement door. Until Ava did. She wandered into a grocery store barefoot, clutching a broken toy. Her voice barely audible. She whispered to the clerk. They're still in the basement. The call came in at 7:41 p.m. Officers responded quickly. They knew the Andersons. Or thought they did. Inside the house, everything was in order. Dinner plates on the table. Television on pause. Family photos on every wall, framed like trophies. But there was something off. A stillness that didn't feel peaceful. The kind of quiet that feels like it's watching you. And then, the locked basement door. It took force to break it open. And when it did, hell unfolded in silence. The air was cold, damp. Smelled like mildew and rot. The light flickered as they stepped down. The basement wasn't just a room. It was a prison. No windows. Soundproofed. Chains bolted into the walls. A stained mattress. Buckets. A surveillance camera wired to a small monitor upstairs. On the wall, children's drawings. Stick figures behind bars. Dark scribbles that looked like eyes. Dozens of eyes. In the floorboards, beneath a loose panel, they found a box. Inside, Rachel's journals. Pages filled with pain. Not just fear, but guilt. She wrote about Jason's rules, his sermons, how he said the family had to be cleansed. He believed obedience was salvation, that he was the shepherd and they were his flock. He called it love. But it looked a lot like domination. Rachel wrote, "I tried to leave once. He locked me in the closet for 2 days. Told the kids it was a test of their faith." She wrote, Lily talked back. He said she had to be humbled. He took her downstairs for 3 days. She never came back the same. Later in the journal, the entries grew frantic. Desperate. Terrified. She wrote about planning an escape. She was waiting for the right moment. But Jason found the journal. And then, the entries stopped. In the far corner of the basement, under a pile of boxes, they found Lily. Wrapped in a blanket. Hands folded across her chest. A Bible placed on top. She had been dead for 6 months. Michael was found chained to a beam. Alive, barely. He couldn't speak. He wouldn't look anyone in the eye. Ava, the little girl who ran, had been the only one Jason hadn't broken completely. In court, Jason said he was protecting his family. That Rachel had poisoned them with modern sins. That Lily was a sacrifice. He showed no remorse. Quoted scripture. Claimed he was chosen. He was sentenced to 4 life terms without parole. But what haunted the courtroom wasn't just what he did. It was how easily he convinced everyone he was good. Because evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it serves at church. Sometimes it makes the best potato salad at the picnic. Philosopher Dietrich Bonhoeffer once said, "Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act." And that's the uncomfortable truth. This wasn't just a tragedy. It was a failure of a community, of friends, of us. We love stories with villains in the dark. But what do we do when the villain is holding the flashlight? Jason Anderson didn't hide his evil. He wrapped it in charm, in charisma, in control. And we believed him. Because it was easier than facing the truth. The truth that the most dangerous evil is the one we don't want to see. And now, I want to ask you something. How many people around you are smiling through pain? How many kids do you walk past, not noticing the silence in their eyes? How many families on your street are hiding basements of their own? This isn't just about Jason. It's about what we choose not to question. What we turn away from. What we excuse because the exterior looks safe. But evil rarely looks like a monster. It often looks like a neighbor. So if something feels off, ask. If someone pulls away, reach. And if you hear a whisper, don't ignore it. Because behind every perfect photo, every staged smile, every home-cooked Sunday dinner, there might be a basement, waiting to be opened.